Yeah. So we studied about several properties of bases. Faizan, why you are late today, beta? Please be on time. So there are several properties of bases. We studied about many properties of bases, like they bitter in taste. They are water soluble bases are known as alkalis. They are soapy they are corrosive in nature. Weak bases, strong bases, base can release their OH minus ion, or they are known as hydroxide ion. Okay, so these are the properties of bases which we have studied, and now and how they goes with phenolphthalein and methyl orange. And now we are going to learn about some more properties of bases. So these properties of bases are that bases also conduct electricity, or bases can conduct electricity. Here I'm drawing a test tube. Everybody is late today, I don't know why you guys are late today. So we are going to learn about conduction of electricity, and we are going to learn about that how bases conduct electricity. How bases conduct electricity. I will start my class at 6:30 sharp. Okay, I will not wait for anyone. So please, because it is time consuming and total wastage of time, that's why. Otherwise, I don't have problem. So this is a beaker, and we have filled it with a base, and I'm naming this base. The name of this base is known as sodium hydroxide. Okay, this is metal, this is metal, and this is hydroxide. You know, each and every type of metal, when they contain either it is sodium hydroxide, or it is magnesium hydroxide, or it is calcium hydroxide, or it is copper hydroxide, or it is ferrous hydroxide, or it is zinc hydroxide. All of them, when metal contain, remember this fact, then metal contain hydroxide. When metal contain hydroxide, okay, they are bases. Remember that. Then when metal contain hydroxide, and one more fact I will tell you, that when metal contain hydroxide and when metal contain oxide. Okay, what is metal oxide I will tell you later on, but remember that when metal contain hydroxide, any metal which contain hydroxide, they have capacity to release their hydroxide ions. They have capacity to release their hydroxide ions, and when hydroxide ions are released, they are known as bases. Some bases don't have hydroxide ions, which we have studied, that this hydrazine is not having any OH, it is only having H. But when it reacts with water, we studied it on yesterday, that it pressurize this water molecule to release its OH ion. That's why, despite of having any type of OH, this hydrogen, which is N2H4, also known as base, it is not having any type of OH, but it makes this water to release OH ions. That's why this is base. So the basic property of base is that either it contain hydroxide ion to release, okay, releasing is more important, or it can makes water to release. So everything I need that release of hydroxide ion, that I need this in my result. And if I get hydroxide ion by anyhow, by it can release by itself, or it can make water to release any base. Okay, if I get hydroxide ion separately, then I would say that this is a base. So in this apparatus, okay, I'm using this apparatus, I'm using a test tube, separate test tube. And here, same experiment we studied up 4 bases. Here, this is a rubber cork, this is a rubber cork, and this is a rubber cork. I use this just to dig 2 nails inside, and these are 2 nails, and these nails are these nails are connected with a circuit, and this is our circuit. And in this circuit we have a bulb, and in this circuit we have a key, and again this circuit is connected to this part. So this is my beaker, and this is a rubber cork. You know that rubber is insulator, it cannot conduct any electricity, but this rubber cork, we have put in this experiment a rubber cork just to establish, or just I want to dig these two nails. So these two nails, this is nail 1 and this is nail 2, these are iron nails, iron nails. Okay, this rubber cork will do nothing, just I want to dig these iron nails in this rubber cork, so they will get stabilized. Just for their stabilization I used this rubber cork, otherwise there is no use of this rubber cork. Now this is a circuit, this is a circuit, this is a battery. This terminal is known as positive terminal and this terminal is known as negative terminal. This is our bulb and this is our uh, P. So in this beaker it is filled with, this beaker is filled with a base, and this base is known as sodium hydroxide. Remember, sodium hydroxide is a base. Why it is a base? Because it can release its OH ion, it can release. Despite of this NaOH, or despite of this MgOH, or despite of, what was that after the bulb? This is key, this is key. Okay, this is key. We know this is switch or key, when we want to open a circuit or when we want to close a circuit. So whatever base you use, okay, when a metal, we studied this, that when any type of metal, magnesium, sodium, calcium, copper, ferrous or zinc, when any type of metal contain hydroxide ions with this, and same time containing of hydroxide ions or OH ion is known as hydroxide ion. So containing of hydroxide ions is not sufficient, also it have to release OH ions in presence of water, then it is known as base. Other than this there are so many other substances like C6H12O6, which is also known as glucose, and C2H5OH, this is alcohol. They are also having OH ion, they are also having OH ion, but despite of this they cannot release their OH ions in the presence of water. That's why these two are no bases. So any metal which have OH ions in same time they have capacity to release their OH ions are known as bases. So this is filled with a base. You can fill with any type of base. Here I am using sodium, this is sodium and this is hydroxide. It can release its OH ion, that's why it is a perfect base. Now in this test tube, as soon as I open the circuit, then there will be a partition of NaOH, and NaOH will ionized, or I can say it will get break. This is my NaOH, and as soon as I make sure to conduct electricity in this circuit, electricity will conduct. This is a path of current flowing, and as soon as I do this, it will get break, it will get break. And we know that Na is positive because all metals, whatever metal you are considering, uh, gold, silver, platinum, zinc, sodium, magnesium, whatever, it is always positive, and hydroxide ion is always negative. So it will break into sodium plus and OH minus, and here our result is that this sodium has released these OH ions, so it is confirmly a base. And two things will occur in this solution. There will be sodium ion, there will be plenty of sodium ion, and same time there will be plenty of hydroxide ion. There will be plenty of sodium ion and hydroxide ion. Okay, now what would happen next? The next thing which is going to happen is that these ions will move. So I am moving this ions, and these ions will move. How these ions will move? As we know that sodium is positive and OH is negative, so the side of this nail, the side of this nail which is connected with positive terminal, the side of this nail is known as anode. Remember this, and anode is having always positive charge, and the side of this nail which is connected with this negative terminal is known as cathode, and cathode is having negative charge. Remember this. Okay, now in this solution we are having two types of molecules. First is of sodium and another is of OH. So they will move according to their corresponding poles. Now remember that sodium and hydroxide are two ions. Sodium is positive, so it will get attracted to negative pole, attract. Okay, and OH is negative, so it will get attracted to positive pole. Okay, now what is negative pole? Negative pole is known as cathode, and this positive pole, this is a positive pole, and positive pole, this positive pole or positive terminal, it is known as anode. So they will attracted toward their opposite charge. We know that negative positive attracts each other, so it is positive, it will get attracted to negative charge, this is known as cathode, and this is negative, it will get attracted to positive charge, and the terminal known as anode. So as this sodium will move to cathode, it is known as cation. So cations are positive in nature because they are positive and they move towards negative pole, and this OH is negative, that's why it is attracted towards anode, and anode is positive, so it is known as anion. So cations are positive in nature, that's why they are moving towards negative side, and OH ions are negative in nature, they known as anions because they are moving towards positive, they are moving towards positive side. So here we can say that it is positive terminal, all the OH will add here, they will get attract here, and Na will get attracted to this sodium side. So this sodium side, so positive will move towards negative, that is our cathode, and they are cations, and this negative will move towards anode, which is positive. Anode is positive, obviously anode is positive in nature. Okay, this terminal is positive in nature because it is connected to positive side, so and all sodium will attract here. So this side, this is a side of OH, and this side, this is the side of sodium. Okay, this is side of sodium. So here we can say there is a movement of charges, there is movement of charges, that OH and Na plus are moving continuously, so we can say that there is movement of charges, and as the charges move there is a conduction of electricity. So bases can conduct electricity, we are sure that bases can conduct electricity because first they get breakdown into any metal whatever you took, and OH, it is always negative, metal is always positive whatever metal you take, and metal will positive, so it will goes to cathode and it is known as cation, and it will goes to anode, so it is known as anion. So here when this charges will flow, this bulb will glow, this bulb will glow because charges are moving in this solution. There are random charges and suddenly they are moving towards their corresponding poles, some are moving towards anode and some are moving towards cathode. So these are corresponding, they are moving towards their corresponding poles, and as soon as the movement begins the bulb will glow, and we can say that bases can conduct electricity because they get broke into their ions. Okay, we can say Na plus OH. In case of magnesium you can use Mg plus OH, or you can take any metal, whatever metal you want. Okay, so in this we can say that charges which is going towards these positive poles are surely negative ones, those are OH minus, and this pole is known as anode, and they are anions. And charges which is going towards this negative pole, this is whatever pole, we can use metal, any type of metal, either you use nails or you can use any type of metal to make this two electrode or two poles. Okay, so this is negative, so definitely positive charge will get attracted to this, and this is known as cathode, and these ions are known as cations. So uh, this is how bases can conduct electricity, only because they can move their charges. Now, reaction of bases with acids. How bases reacts with acid? Remember, this is a very super simple reaction, and it is also known as a reaction which is known as neutralization reaction. What is neutralization reaction? When acid get added with base, it will form a salt and it will form water molecule, and this is equation or formula you could be asked. So we are taking example and we are aware of this. I'm using this time magnesium hydroxide and I'm using sulfuric acid. I told you about so many types of acid. This is a strong acid because it can release its H plus ion easily in water. So now what would happen? Remember one thing, that this magnesium will replace this hydrogen and it will form MgSO4. Always remember that one metal and one non-metal will form salt. So magnesium sulfate is a salt, and this remaining H2 will go with this OH whole twice and it will form 2H2O. So this is the molecule of water. And again, when a base goes with acid, it will form a salt and water. Now this reaction is known as neutralization reaction because acid is neutralizing effect of base and base is neutralizing effect of acid. So the salt is no more acid and no more base, neither it is acid nor it is base, it is just a salt, and salt is a mixture of a metal part and a non-metal part. Whatever you take, this is also a salt, this is metal part, this is non-metal part. Okay, in this series we are going to learn about an experiment which is known as neutralization of bases with acid or acid with bases. You can write same thing in both cases. If we are studying about acid, we can use here base, and if we are using about studying about base, we can use acid. So this is a beaker. Okay, now this beaker is filled with acid. I'm filling it, this beaker, with acid. I'm filling this with acid. It is filled with acid. Okay, this beaker is filled with acid. Now I want to make sure that this is acid. That's why I will put a amount of, or it is filled with base. Sorry, I want to fill it with base because I'm working with base. Okay. Now it is a base. Okay. Now I want to make sure that this is a base. So I will use phenolphthalein. Remember, when phenolphthalein acts with base, remember we studied about this reaction, that what would happen if phenolphthalein acts with base, it will change its color. Okay, so what will be the color? There will be a different color. Guess, can you guess what would be the color? I'm giving you 2 seconds, 30 seconds. If you can write me on chat box that what would be color if I add. Okay, someone replied me. Very good. Charlie answered me that it will turn to pink. It will turn to pink. Okay, so it will turn to pink. Okay, now if I will add, this is a base and name of this base is sodium hydroxide. Okay, and I added phenolphthalein to it and it will turn to pink color, pinkish in color. Okay, so can I use pink color? Okay, I'm using pink color. Okay, I'm using pink color here. This is pink color. Now it is turned to pink one. Okay, now I'm sure that this is a base. Now, as soon as I will add acid to it, and this acid is HCl, okay, this pink color will disappear. I added phenolphthalein to base, the color will pink, and again I have added acid to this and the color will disappear, and this acid will remove the effect of this base. So as soon I add acid to this color will disappear and there will be no color. Finally it will remain to its original position and it was like before. It was like before. color will like before. Okay, it will like this. Same thing. Okay. Now, as soon as I acid, it will become like before, what color it was having. So we know that this acid has neutralizes the effect of base. First it was or I can say it was colorless. As soon as I add phenol phthalate into this base, it will convert to pink. And as soon as I add base to this acid to this, it will again convert to colorless. So that's why we can say that this acid is neutralizing this effect of base, or it will change the color totally. So this is also known as a neutralization reaction. Both of them are cancelling their effects. Now we are going to learn about the reaction of metals with non-metal oxide. Now remember two things, that this is metal oxide, this is calcium, and if I'm using oxygen with this is known as metal oxide. And if I use any metal, you can use magnesium oxide, you can use ferrous oxide, you can use sodium oxide. Okay, you sometimes we need to balance this. So, or if I'm using copper oxide, okay, or if I'm using zinc oxide, whatever you use, this is metal, and this is oxide. Another thing you studied, that this is metal hydroxide, this is metal hydroxide. Okay, this is metal oxide and this is metal hydroxide. Okay, remember one thing, both of them are bases, both of them are bases, metal hydroxide and metal oxide, both of them are bases. Why they are bases? They are bases because either they can release their OH ions. Okay, it can release its OH ion because it is having its OH ions, and it can release its OH ion first of all. But it is not having its OH ions, but all of them can make release OH ion in the presence of H2O. Remember that both metal oxides and no metal hydroxide, both are bases. Metal hydroxide can release their OH ions because they have OH ions, and metal oxide, they are not having OH ions, but when any metal oxide reacts with water, it can make sure that water will release its OH ion. That's why they are also bases. So remember that all type of metal oxides and metal hydroxides are bases. Either they will release their hydrogen ion, or they will pressurize water to release their OH ions. And now we are going to learn about one thing which is known as reaction with what are non-metal oxides. Okay, what are non-metal oxides? Non-metal oxides are something, as we studied that they are metal oxides, metal with oxygen, they are basic in nature. Don't forget it, both of them are basic in nature and both of them can release. Finally we can get hydroxide either by themselves, either by they can release their hydroxide ion, or they can make water, they can make, they are not having any type of, this non-metal is not having any type of hydroxide ion, but it will pressurize water. Kindly off the video, otherwise I will not have full space to write this. So it will pressurize this OH, this sodium hydroxide will pressurize, oxide will pressurize this H2O. Sodium oxide will pressurize water to release its OH ions. In both cases, either in this case or this case, both of them are releasing OH ions. That's why they are bases. Remember one thing, I'm revising, bases, metal oxide or metal hydroxide, both are bases in nature, both can release OH ions in presence of water. Now I'm talking about non-metal oxides. Non-metal oxides are CO2. Okay, what is CO2? Carbon dioxide is non-metal. because neither carbon is metal nor oxygen is metal. So carbon dioxide is a is acid. Okay, it's acid. Non-metal oxides are acids, and metal oxides, this is metal oxide, this is metal oxide, metal and oxygen, 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 metal and oxygen. Okay, so metal oxides are bases and non-metal oxides are acid. This is acid. Or if I use another type of SO4, okay, this is non-metal, sulfur is non-metal, and oxygen is also non-metal, but oxygen, we need to have oxygen because we are talking about non-metal oxides. This is known as sulfate, this is an acid. If I take NO3, okay, this is nitrate, this is also an acid. If I use H, I can use CO3, okay, so this is also this is also an acid. So what would we have, what we learned, that all metal oxides, any metal which contain oxides, are bases in nature, and any non-metal which contain oxygen are acidic in nature. Okay, sodium oxide, magnesium oxide, calcium oxide, copper oxide, zinc oxide, all metals are containing oxygen, that's why they are bases. But carbon dioxide, SO4, NO3, okay, and CO3, all of them are non-metals. Carbon is non-metal, sulfur is non-metal, nitrogen is non-metal, again carbon is non-metal. All of them are having oxygen, so they are acidic in nature. Don't forget it ever and ever. Okay, now I'm going to tell you reaction of bases with non-metal oxide. I'm telling you this. Now, as soon as you come to know that non-metal oxides are acid, a thing is very clear to you that in this case, bases are generally reacting with acids, because we studied just now, we studied that all metal oxide, all non-metal oxides, all non-metal which contain oxide, each and every non-metal which contain oxygen, okay, each and every non-metal, carbon, sulfur, nitrogen, when they contain oxygen, they are acidic in nature. Okay, now a question comes. I told you one thing, that I told you one thing, that what are acids? All non-metal oxides, okay, when all non-metal oxides are acidic, okay, and what I told you, that all acids have capacity to release H plus ions, okay, all acids have capacity to release H plus ions. Now if I'm using a base, okay, I'm using sodium hydroxide, and I'm using a non-metal oxide, that is CO2. So this CO2 will work as acid, because when you are given with a question that what would happen if bases react with non-metal oxide, don't think second time non-metal oxides are acid. All non-metal oxides are acid, so don't think second time that what is non-metal oxide. So result will be same. This base is reacting with this acid or non-metal oxide, so the result will be same. What was the formula? When base goes with acid, it will form a salt, and it will form a water molecule. So here a salt will form and a water molecule form. Now I'm writing the formula, that when sodium hydroxide goes with carbon dioxide, sodium hydroxide goes with carbon dioxide, don't think twice. This is very simple. This uh, carbon dioxide will took the place of OH, and it will form sodium carbonate plus H2O. This needs a bit balancing, so no, this is completely balanced. Okay, so this will form, okay, this will the output. Okay, so it will form sodium carbonate. Again, this is a salt and it is water molecule. Okay, now why this is a salt? Because one is metal and one is non-metal. We know that when metal and non-metal comes together, they will form a salt, or salt will form. Okay, so remember, the whole purpose of teaching you this thing is that non-metal oxides are acid. Don't think twice. And all metal oxides are bases. Okay, now you could be asked by another question, that what would happen if acid goes with metal oxide? What would happen? Okay, don't think twice. Acid, I'm using acid, and I'm using metal oxide. I can use zinc oxide, I can use magnesium oxide, I can use sodium oxide. There will be same result. This is acid, non-metal oxides are bases. There will be surely a salt and there will be molecules of water. So you have to make salt, and we can make salt. The salt will be ZnCl 2 plus H2O. When you just need to balance this equation, and it will be clear. It will be 2, and yeah, that's all. So this is a salt and water. So we are done with what are metal oxides and what are non-metal oxides, and don't forget this. Okay, now I'm going to tell you that what do all bases have in common. Why we say that something is base? We know about this that all bases have capacity to release OH minus ions, or they have capacity to make water to release ions. That this is OH ion, it can release its OH ion freely, it can release, it can break down into this. And sometimes there are so many type of bases, they don't contain any type of OH, like N2H4. Okay, it is also a base, and when it comes in contact with water, definitely it is not having any type of OH, but it pressurize this water to release OH ions. And finally, when I'm doing a reaction in my test tube, I will have OH ions. Either I will go with this, or either I will go with this, I will have OH ions. So my reaction is complete, and I can say that these two are bases. Despite of this glucose this glucose is having OH ions, but neither they can release their OH ions, and when I react them with water, neither they can release their OH ions by their own. And when I react this glucose, this is glucose molecule, despite it is having OH, we know that it is having OH, neither it can release by its own, and nor it can pressurize water to release OH ions. So in both cases, glucose is failed to release OH ions. That's why this is not a base, despite of having, okay, even though it is having OH. But this is sure that it is having OH, so it can release, but it is not having any type of OH. It is only having H, but it can pressurize water to release its OH. That's why it is base. So common thing in all bases, that either they can release their OH ions, or they can pressurize water to release OH ion. This is the common thing which all bases have. Now we are having two types of bases, bases. Generally it is good to say base, that two type of bases. One base is water soluble and one base is water non soluble. So first one category is water non soluble base, and second category is water soluble base. Okay, now water non-soluble bases are normal bases, and water soluble bases are known as alkali. Remember that alkali are water soluble bases. Okay, so this is our base, and this is our alkali. Because alkali is a small group, definitely they are base, but they are water soluble. Okay, now this sentence, all alkali are bases but all bases are not alkali. We know that all alkali are bases, all alkalis are bases, because alkalis are, definitely they are bases, but they have capacity to get dissolved in water. So all alkali are bases, because they are driven from or they comes from bases, that is a separate group of bases. So this is alkali. Okay, they are surely bases, they are surely base because they have capacity to release OH ions, or it can pressurize water to release its OH ions. And these bases, they are surely bases, but they are not alkali because they are, this group cannot dissolve in water. So again, next reaction I want to tell you that mixing of water is, base with water is exothermic. Here this is my test tube and I have used here water, and if I want to dilute something, okay, or I can use base here, okay, so I will add water here. Just what I want to do, I want to dilute my base. Okay, either I do this or either I do this. Just I want one thing, that I want to dilute my base. So either I add base to water or I add water to base. In both of these cases, okay, in both of these cases, this will gives heat and it is known as exothermic reaction. This is exothermic reaction. Both cases gives heat and this is exothermic reaction. Yeah, it is not as violent and as vibrant or as vigorous when we were doing with acids. Okay, instead of base, if we use acid, it will more vigorous and it will use more heat creating. It is not that much heat creating, but it is exothermic in nature. It can burn or it can create heat, it can create heat. Okay, so this is about exothermic nature. Next thing I want to tell you, yeah, that how bases reacts with metals. Okay, metals, only metals. So this is my base, this is my base, and I want to make them react with metal. So I'm taking a metal, I'm taking a metal which is known as zinc. Okay, zinc. So what would happen? It will form something, it will form a salt, and it will form a salt in the form of sodium, zinc, and oxygen and hydrogen gas will release. So if you remember the formula of acid, that what happen if acids release reacts with metal? Do you remember this formula? What will be the result? Do you remember this formula? It will form a salt and it will release hydrogen gas. Do you remember that we have used a test tube? You remember that we have used a test tube, and in test tube we put zinc granules, and from this side we were adding HCl, and this zinc plus HCl will form ZnCl and hydrogen gas will release. And here we have used soap water, and this hydrogen will gas will come here, and this hydrogen will get merged with soap water, and the molecules, sorry, bubbles of hydrogen gas will come out, and we will put a candle near to it and it will form a pop sound. Do you remember this? Okay, so in this formula, when a metal reacts with acid, okay, it will form a salt and it will form hydrogen gas. This was the formula, we remember this. Same thing will occur, same thing will occur, okay, with a bit changes, but the formula is same. What is the formula? When a base reacts with a metal, it will form a salt and it will form hydrogen gas. Okay, same thing with acids. When an acids react with metal, it will form salt and it will form H2 gas. Same thing, but with a bit changes. There is a bit change, that this is a salt and this is hydrogen gas, but this salt is a bit different from normal salt because this is having two metals, and in general salt we are having only one metal. Okay, but this is having two metals, this is having two metals, and in general salt we would generally we have one salt. Okay, one metal and sorry, one metal and one non-metal. Generally in salt we have one metal and one non-metal, or one metal or one non-metal, but here we are having two metals and one non-metal. So this salt is a bit different from general salt, but this is also salt because it is having two metal and one non-metal, oxygen is non-metal, and the sodium and zinc is metal. So this is also salt, but with two metals. Okay, so if a base reacts with metal, it will form a salt, but a salt with two metals, and finally it will form hydrogen gas. So remember that when acid goes with metal, a salt will form with a metal and with a non-metal, and with base goes with metal, it will form salt with two metals and one non-metal. Okay, now I'm finishing my class, and we will have our next class on Monday. Okay, this is our schedule. This is our no class schedule. On Friday and Sunday we will have no class, and other weekdays we will have our class. Okay, Friday and Sunday we will have no class. So tomorrow is Sunday, so we will have our next class on Monday. Okay, remember this or note this. So I'm finishing my class. Take care of yourself. Bye bye, and enjoy your Sunday as much as you can. Take care.